Hello everybody, and welcome back to the second portion of the breadboard and table build. Today I'm going to show you how to make a simple table base using the Festool Domino. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in to the completion of this build and the table base. So as you may know or may not know, putting joints together when you have face grain to face grain, the joint's pretty tough. If you have end grain to face grain, the joint's not very tough. So what I decided to do for this build was just throw in some dominoes here, which will actually create a pretty darn strong joint, like so. And for this table base, I wanted to not just have 90-degree angles like so, I actually wanted to kick these uprights in just a bit, a couple of degrees. Now, I'm not super good at angles, and if I were super smart, I would learn how to get better at it and just be able to go over to my saw, cut some angles, put this bad boy together. But as it turns out, I'm not super smart.
Math, 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 math.
So this is a challenge for me, okay? I can't just go over to the saw and cut my angles and have everything come together really nice. So for the people that aren't smart like me, what I do is I lay things out on a flat surface, lay things at the angles that I want, and then I draw some lines and then cut the appropriate angles. And that's where I start. I simply lay down a template and draw out the exact shape that I'm going for. Then it's just a matter of laying the stock down on the template and tracing out some lines. And now over to the miter saw to make some cuts. Now, before I assemble and glue up the table base, I'm going to need to switch over to my data stack to cut out the recesses for the cross members that join the two separate leg assemblies. Now that that's complete, I can work on using the domino to join the uprights to the upper and lower portions of the legs. These joints are remarkably strong when finished. In order to fasten the legs of the tabletop, I went with these Rockler tabletop fasteners. You have to do some work ahead of time before installing these things, and this consists of routing a groove in which these fasteners can slide along in the side of the table base. If this doesn't make sense yet, just keep watching. It can get pretty dusty. Don't forget to protect your lungs and wear a mask.
Dust? I think I'm getting the black lung, Bob.
Before gluing and screwing, I like to do a dry assembly. I pre-drill and then I countersink. I leave these crossbeams long on purpose as it is easier to flush cut them after the glue has dried. I measure corner to corner to assure that the assembly is square. All right, so the glue up went okay, but there are a couple things that I would do differently, because what you didn't see was off camera, I realized that I had only had this squared off in, one or two directions, but not in several others that also needed to be square. So I ran around panicking, screaming, cussing, trying to get this all done before the glue dried, and nobody likes that. It sucks. So what I would do differently in the future is this. I would start with just one cross post, get it glued up and screwed in, and then I would, basically get that square. Once that is done and dried, flip it over, do the other side. You're going to save yourself a lot of trouble and a lot of heartache doing it that way. Once the assembly is dried, you can flush cut the excess. I countersink a few screws to the upper cross beam member thing. I'm still not sure what to call it. And now you can screw in those Rockler tabletop fasteners. Okay, so as we wrap up this build, I do feel that I would be remiss not to mention that this didn't go super smoothly. There were some tribulations, and not quite like the, Bob Ross happy accident stuff. It was more like a running to the bathroom while prairie dogging it, trying not to shit your pants, and just barely making it to the toilet.
Poop again!
And those difficulties centered primarily around getting those angles right and the glue up. okay? So just know that if you're struggling with things like that, we all do. Actually, that's not true. Probably not all of us, mediocre folk like myself. But I did make it work, and it all came together just fine in the end. I'm happy with the end result. Now, I do have a few more steps here to sand, throw some finish onto the table to get its final shape here, but I'm not going to bore you with that. Instead, through the power of movie magic, we're going to cut scene to some glamour shots.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.